Hi, I'm Erin Lento from the Witch of Saturn here with my Astro bestie, Maggie Turner of Made by Mags Astro.
Hi.
It is November 11th, 2025, and we are here for the week ahead astrology. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and we can take a look at the current transits. So right now we are in the Mercury retrograde. How's that going for you?
Um, well, my cat came back. It's
Oh,
interesting. He left. He went out for the summer, I guess, during the last retrograde. And then he came back during this retrograde, like on
wow.
Saturday. So I was like, cool. Because
Yeah,
that's
that's
a really neat Mercury retrograde reoccurrence.
yeah, that's awesome.
So I'm happy to have him back. That was a little like we live on a farm, so he's out in the barn, he's mousing. I kept feeding him all that kind of stuff, but like he is like skin and bone, like he's scrawny
Oh,
now. And I'm like, I am so glad you came home or decided to come back today.
oh yeah. Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, but he's back, so it's all good. How
That's
about
good.
you? Anything crazy
I
like
mean,
that?
no, but I'm feeling it. I feel it feels a little intense to me, because Sag is my 12th house. So
Mm,
I've been having some like disrupted sleep, some
oh,
anxiety, right? Because the 12th house rules over things like sleep and dreams and our subconscious and also mental health stuff. So I feel more dysregulated. I also have my natal Uranus is right there too, where this is functioning. So
yeah.
I just like feel it in a very physical and mental way that I'm like, oh, I'm excited for Mercury to go back into Scorpio and just give me a little bit
Give
of
you
a
some
break.
retrieve there. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Um, yeah, it's an interesting one because it is that dual retrograde of Scorp or Sag and then Scorpio again and Sagittarius. So yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than it usually is, I feel like.
you have to consider the two houses and how they kind of blend together or how that energy moves between one house and the other,
Exactly.
wherever wherever Sag and Scorpio land in your particular chart.
Yeah, how that movement from, so it's Scorpio's my 10th house and Sag is my 11th house. So it's almost like, what am I doing in my 10th house that I need to gain from in my 11th house, but like it didn't happen. So now I need to go back to my 10th house and be like, do I like show up more? Do I present more? Do I give more so that I get some gains next time it comes back or something like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for that in particular, the 11th house rises up to the 10th. So it's kind of like reevaluating your hopes and your dreams of what you want for your career and how you manifest that with who you are out in the world. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Right. So hopefully you guys can put those two houses together and be like, what happens in this house and then moves to that house or vice versa. Right. So
yeah,
that's a good way to look at it.
unless you're a Cap rising and it's in your 12th, and then you'll just have no idea what's going on. Who knows?
Deep contemplation mode.
Yes,
Where
yeah.
am
Just
I?
a lot of meditation happening
Yeah.
over here.
And then today, Jupiter is going retrograde in like half an hour.
Yep, so we can see that. So here's Jupiter in exalted in Cancer at 25 degrees, and then in one, let's say 2 hours. If I change it 2 hours, it now shows in red here, so we can tell that that is now
Mhm.
retrograde. So that is anytime an outer planet stations retrograde or stations direct. I think it's just something that energetically we feel. You may not see immediate significations for that, but like there's a vibe shift, right?
Yeah, Chris Brennan almost always says like it kind of puts an exclamation mark beside that planet what has Jupiter been doing since it moved into Cancer, wherever that is in your chart? Have you experienced growth there, or have you manifested some sort of prosperity there? And if you can't kind of like see that yet, maybe we need this like time to go through the internalization of it, to be like, what am I doing here? Why am I doing that here? Do I care about that because it's Cancer? Or do I want to switch it up and like do something I really care about? Something along those lines possibly might come up today.
And also, when Jupiter is the great benefic, and when it goes retrograde, we see that the opportunities that it brings sometimes like that slows down. It's not optimal. It does become a little more internalized,
Mm-hmm.
which would, really align with the Mercury retrograde energy.
It
And when,
does, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So we almost have like these dual retrogrades that are
yeah,
intertwined right now. And it's like,
double. It's a double retrograde.
yeah, double whammy here. So if you feel like things are really slowing down or like coming to a halt in your life and you're like, why is there no momentum anymore? It's probably the retrogrades.
Yeah, it's just lean into that, right? Like, don't be pushing things forward. Don't expect things to be really advancing. And, I would
Yeah.
say just take the time to look back, reflect, kind of pause, reevaluate, and wrap things up that have already been started, right?
Yeah, if you have projects on the go or something, like for sure, go back to those, rework them, whatever. It's just probably not the best time to start something fresh right now.
Yeah, or even like bring in anything new. Like I'm like, all right, I'm not buying anything right now. Like it is just, it's not, things don't work out when you try to do like new things or acquire or, especially with anything technological.
Yeah, for sure. Don't buy a computer or a
Yeah, yeah.
phone right now.
Yeah, just take a
Um,
pause. Everybody slow
what
your
do you
roll.
already have in your house that you can like revamp and use right now instead of getting more stuff? You
Exactly.
know, yeah, Jupiter is very expansive and we might feel like we need more and more and more all the time, but when it goes retrograde, it's like, oh, okay, what do I already have?
Bring it
You
back to
know,
center.
yeah.
Yeah.
um
And then tomorrow, and I mean, we'll be feeling this today too. Like right now through tomorrow at 6:15 Eastern time, Mercury is going to retrograde back to conjunct Mars.
yeah,
So,
so Mars is moving forward, Mercury's now going backwards, and they're just gonna be like, here we are again. This happened once already. Are you taking it back there?
yeah, well,
Oh
no,
no,
I'm just
that's
going,
tomorrow.
yeah, this is
Okay.
tomorrow where they're now conjunct. Um, yeah,
And
and
that's,
sorry,
sorry, go ahead.
we did have that one once before. That date was October 20th,
Hmm. So
where they,
essentially, the Libra new moon, you can kind of go back to that and be like, what did I want to, initiate, or what did I was thinking about back on the new moon in that Libra realm of life? And now that it's kind of crazy because Mercury's like, no, I got to go backwards. And Mars is like, no, let's keep going forwards, forwards. Like, we don't go backwards. So this might feel a little like fighting with yourself about the pause a bit, or
push
fighting
pull.
with other people about it. Yeah, push and pull.
And it's really interesting. We talked about this last time that last conjunction was very close to that Libra new moon because tomorrow is the last quarter phase of the moon
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with the moon in Libra, I'm sorry, Leo squaring the sun in Scorpio. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all. that's kind of like, oh my gosh, we have to wrap things up. It's the last quarter phase, and we might feel like there's some sort of like crisis of, I didn't I didn't bring things full circle, or I didn't complete something, and I have to like do it. It feels like we're gonna be very like, oh my gosh, I have so much stuff to do, but Mercury's like, nope, no, just nothing, don't do those things. And that's a hard energy to deal with sometimes.
Yeah, and it's also pretty wild that then the new moon next week is the same day as the Cazimi when Mercury
Hmm.
conjuncts the sun. So this definitely seems like there is something tied in with the lunar cycle and just like being aware that we are in a cycle of new things coming to culmination and then a waning process as that cycle ends and a new one gets ready to begin. And just, I think sometimes having that awareness in your mind is helpful to navigate the ebb and the flow, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like, if Mars wants to go ahead and do something, whatever Mercury has to go back into Scorpio for is sort of like the missing link to whatever Mars needs to understand. So maybe tomorrow Mars will get some information about our motivation and our drive and our willpower, and why we need to kind of like go back to the drawing board, maybe learn some stuff in Sag before we can, do that, embark upon that journey.
Yeah, and if there were any personal conflicts that happened during that last Mercury Mars conjunction, this is like a time to reassess them, to have,
Mm-hmm.
you know, gleaned what we've learned from that first time around and maybe like heal something a little bit or redo it, do it differently.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like some sort of self-discovery stuff
Yeah,
going
and
on
like
here.
making different, wiser choices, maybe like
Mm-hmm.
that, being less reactionary and more responsive.
Yeah. And
Um,
that might, it might mean somebody comes in with some sort of information that you do react to, and then you're like, oh no, hold on. That's the old me going
yeah,
back there.
you're given an opportunity to do it again, and it's like, oh, all
Exactly.
right, here, there's a trap. This is a trap.
Yeah, this is a trap. Oh
Don't
my
fall for it.
gosh, I am wiser now and I know better, but we might still like fall into the trap. So,
And then
yeah.
it's kind of nice because there's a couple of like quiet days astrologically where we don't really see anything major happening until Monday, where we have, let's see, we'll skip to that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, where we have the sun in this grand trine, right? The sun Scorpio in a grand trine with Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer.
So Saturn and Jupiter are in a trine for a long time right now. I don't think that comes exact until Saturn stations direct, but every planet that moves through Scorpio will make that grand water trine with both of them. So it's interesting because Jupiter and Saturn are like each other's counterparts. One's very, very expansive, and the other is very contractive or constrictive or restrictive. So it's like we can't do too much too big, or like, yeah, there's some sort of like reworking there of where we're going and why we're doing it in the water signs. Like, what is our emotional connection to that thing?
And that day, there's also Mercury's making a sextile to Pluto. So this definitely does seem like something transformational.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, didn't quite go right the first time around. And like the sun will always trine Jupiter and Saturn during that retrograde station. It's just this one's emphasized because of that grand water trine. So it's interesting because the day, is it I think Saturn stations direct, and then a few days later, Mercury stations direct. And it's crazy because we just had Mercury station retrograde and Jupiter station retrograde. So they're all intertwined for some reason here. And it's still a little bit of a like, what is all that?
Yeah, because Saturn goes direct on the 27th and Mercury is the 29th. So there is a definite pattern there. It seems like then, I don't know, next week feels like a pinnacle in the this retrograde process, right? There's a lot happening then. So it's kind of nice that this week is a little more quiet. We just have to get through this Mercury Mars conjunction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is it's sort of like the quiet before that Scorpio new moon because there's a lot going on under that Scorpio new moon next Thursday.
Yeah.
Enjoy this week and try to get into the like passive, reflective, receptive mode of life. Like we don't always have to be action oriented towards everything, right? Like it's more about understanding something inside of us, I think, instead of like all the outward hustle right now.
Yeah, more internalized, reflective energy of receiving right now, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I told all my clients in their month ahead readings to schedule downtime next week on like the 19th, 20th, and 21st. So just a heads up that, we should all do that. I put it in my calendar, like try to do a little bit less than when the energy's really rocky and just be getting into that mode now. So
Yeah.
I think that that's it for this week. Anything else that you want to add that we missed?
No, I think that's a really good place to leave it. Like just let yourself catch up to yourself. Really. We go and we go and we go and then we don't often sit and think about why we're doing that. So let yourself move through that this week.
I I really me and my Gemini mind, my Gemini Mercury really like that. Like I constantly need to catch up to myself.
Yeah, like why am I even doing this? We just get
Oh,
into like go mode and we don't ever stop. But the planets are like, here you go. Let's stop.
yeah,
Let's
like
just
it's forcing
chill.
forcing us all to calm down, chill, and
Yeah.
let's settle. Let's
And
take
these
time.
grand water trines are very a lot about that too, right? Like I think a lot of people are being made to feel when a lot of people try not to feel anything ever. So it's like, whoa, this is it's different. It's different. So let yourself explore that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely feeling it. And my Capricorn moon is like, what are these emotions? What are we doing with these?
Why do I have these?
Dislike. This is inefficient. All this feeling.
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah,
All
that's the
right. Okay, so we will see you back here next week. In the meantime, if you want to schedule a reading with Maggie or myself, you can find Maggie on Facebook under Made by Mags Astro. You can find me on my website or on my YouTube channel. My website's erinlento.com, and then I'm the Witch of Saturn on YouTube and on Instagram. So thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time.
bye.